jumping up, but damn, I can't believe we reached. I mean, I can. I mean, we've been calling it the last like 2 weeks, but just to see it actually happen, just so much fear in the market.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been happening that like it was a huge gap as well. It was like 1950 and it opened at 1990, I think.
For my liquidity provider, I feel like it wasn't that big for me. It was only about like 5 pips.
Well, market open.
Market open. So for me, market closed here. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see on Trading View. I was just gonna wait to do a full breakdown. Much.
I think it was that candle.
It was this candle, but I'm saying like, yeah, right here. I mean, there wasn't much of a gap here, but I mean, the price just like skyrocketed up. This was the close last week, and then this was the open
Yeah.
last night. And I mean, we just shot right up, closed up here, held support over here, and continued right back up. This would have been a nice candle to take price off of. Like place a buy right here
At the break.
if you're gonna
It's high.
trade Sunday. Oh, what the fuck? There we go. You could have done a little something like this. Grabbed your 1-to-1 on a Sunday. Continue
Yeah.
to move. Grab like 50 pips right there. Close. I would have grabbed like 50 pips. I would have held on for maybe like 70, and stop loss would have went right to break even. Stop to break even. So now we're kind of in a range over here, but we did create a higher high, create a higher low, obviously. So let's see if this area. I'm just doing a little breakdown for you so that you have an idea of what to look for. But we're gonna do a full
Yeah.
breakdown when people start coming in. So as long as we respect this level, which it looks like we are right now, um, and hold resistance or hold support, then we could possibly grab a move to retest the highs up here. But I mean, when you reach 2000, right, a lot of buyers take profit up here, right? So we could get a bigger pullback, especially with the current price action the way it is. I mean, there still is a lot of fear in the market, but we'll do a full breakdown once we get some more people. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's up, Kat?
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. How was your weekend?
Morning.
Good. How about you guys?
Cool. It was good. Productive. Got a lot done. Well, we went to Philly Saturday. Visited some friends that just got an apartment over there.
Oh, nice.
And yesterday was like that typical Sunday where spend the whole day cleaning, getting ready for the week, all that stuff, working out.
Nice.
But how about you? What did you do?
What did I do? I went to the beach.
You went where?
To the beach.
Nice. Cool. Get some good weather right now?
It's been a bit cloudy, and I don't know what happened, but Saturday night, my boyfriend's place has like a really cool rooftop that you could just kind of hang out in.
Okay.
And it was really strange. There was like drones. I think they were drones. They looked like stars at first, but then I saw that they were moving and they were coming by like the 10s and the 20s. And I was like, what the heck is this? Yeah, I don't know. Like I took a small video of it. I was like, I wonder if this is some government thing, like, or just people messing around. But it honestly, like, it looked like stars just kind of moving and passing by. My boyfriend was like, those are airplanes, obviously. And I was like, no, because there's like airplanes next to it.
Oh
So
my
it was
God.
really weird. I'd never seen anything like that. So I think that was probably the most interesting part of the weekend because I don't know what the heck that was.
Maybe it was our friends from the other planets,
That would be fun.
the other
That would be
galaxies.
fun.
I mean, I think it would be very naive for us to. Well, you could go both ways on this. I think it'd be very naive to believe that we're the only ones.
Yeah,
You know,
1,000%. I believe in
like,
aliens.
and it also would be kind of like a selfish thing. Like no, we're not the only ones. Like, there's got to be because if
Yeah.
you look at like there's a video of how long an actual light year is, like how far light travels to become a year, and it's like 100 something billion miles, and it shows you how small we truly are in the galaxy. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I agree
But
completely.
on the other end, it's like, you know, like that's kind of crazy to think at the same time, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
I just don't know if that was the time, but it could be. It's like I'll never know.
I watch Joe Rogan's podcast, and he had Bob Lazar on. Do you know who that is?
Um, no, I'll look him up though. Maybe I'll recognize his face.
Well, if you end up looking him up, you'll go right down the rabbit hole with that one. He used to work at Area 51, and he basically unpacked everything. I think there was a Netflix documentary on him.
Oh, I might have
Just
seen
type
that.
in Bob Lazar. Pretty nuts. Pretty crazy. So, Sammy, how was your weekend, buddy?
No aliens.
Not too bad. It's okay.
Cool.
Last
Did you have
yesterday I went to a football game.
nice,
It was the Manchester derby. So two Manchester clubs,
nice.
and we got battered.
You what? Oh, you got battered?
Yeah,
Damn, that's not good.
not good. So
Battered as
that
far as like lost the game, or battered like got hammered?
lost the game
Oh,
4-1, but like they just gave up. Do you know what I
that
mean?
sucks. Yeah.
You know when the players just start walking like passengers, and it's really annoying.
No fight.
No fight whatsoever.
Yeah, it's hard to
No
get behind
fight.
teams like that.
So that just ruined my mood yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing worse than that when you like give your money to go see a team, or you root for a team your whole life and you just see them like give up against another team. It makes you not want to root for them.
Yeah, there's a way to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't just start walking and there's no heart, no desire. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
100%. It's that's not who you want to be rooting for. I mean, you're never going to switch teams because that's just, if you start hopping teams, it's like you're never going to appreciate a championship. I always bust my friends nuts with excuse my language, with that, because he's been a fan of like 3 different football teams, American football teams, and I'm like, dude, you're never
Okay.
gonna appreciate a championship once it comes. Like, I've been a Jets fan my entire life, so that alone shows how loyal I am. you know, it's been a rough life. Really, like,
Yeah, like my team, we used to win when I was small, when I was like 8, 9, 10, till about 15, 16.
mm-hmm.
And that's when it fell off. We've not won a title for like 10 years now,
Yeah,
11 years going to. So,
it's,
like,
it's, it's a pain.
our biggest rival is Manchester City and Liverpool. I don't know who
Okay.
Jets is, who's Jets' biggest rivalry is.
The New York Jets is probably the Patriots.
And when you lose to these two teams
Mm-hmm.
without giving your 110%,
Mm-hmm.
the fans tend to turn on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened last night.
Wow. So you guys were just booing them?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I turned the game off. Carlos knows how hard it is to be a Jets fan. Right, Carlos?
Yeah, good morning, y'all.
Good morning, buddy. We're
Yeah,
talking
Good
about how
morning.
like teams just like give up and you lose after giving up like that.
oh yeah, for sure. That's been going on with the Lakers.
100%. And
They
like
can,
you guys, all three of you guys, or ladies too, um, are all in like a similar position, but I don't think this will ever get to you guys. But I'm saying like you guys are on a career path right now, and you got a lot of people that are secretly against you, people that are kind of like rooting against you that they may act like they want you to succeed, but they really don't. They want you to succeed, but not more than they do, not more than them, if that makes sense. But you also have people that are rooting for you. Maybe your parents, maybe some friends that are on the same path as you. They're all like rooting for you to do well, and for you to just kind of like give up or not give it your all every single day. Like it's a very similar feeling. Would you say the same thing, Sammy?
Yeah,
So if
100%. Yeah.
they see you not giving your all and they're rooting for you, then it's kind of like, they're gonna stop rooting for you. They're gonna think maybe you don't deserve it.
Yeah, they're gonna say if he's not giving 100%, why am I gonna support this project of his? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
If he's
People
going
root
in
for
half-heartedly, there's no point me standing by his side. I'd rather just give support to my other sons.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Push him to study or something else because it's not something he really wants to do.
100%. Yeah, they're just gonna give up on you, and people want to root for people that are giving their all, and they see you giving your all every single day. Not that you gotta like prove it to them all the time, but they'll see what, like, they text you at like or late at night, right? And you don't answer late at night, but you answer at like 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. They're like, oh wow, he's up, he's working. A little, or like, they want to go out on the weekend, and you're saying like, maybe tonight I can't. I gotta get some work done. It's
Yeah,
they notice that way. It's not like, yo, look at me, I'm working so hard right now. It's not like that.
that actually happened to me quite a lot of the time, like 2 years ago, where a lot of people were saying, yeah, come on, let's go partying, let's go like hookah bars. There's a lot of hookah bars in the UK. That's the theme here.
Mm.
And house parties and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I used to go, but not like every time they used to ask me. It's just be like once every 2 weeks or once a month type of thing. But I did have the opportunity to go every other day where they would go. And then now I think to myself, look where they are in their life, and look where I am right now.
Exactly. You have
And they say
freedom.
to me now, oh, Sammy, you should have helped me. Sammy, you shouldn't do this. Sammy, well, why did you not? You should have got us on what you were doing. And I just say to them, you were too busy out partying,
Yeah.
and I was at home working.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
All you have to do is, like, you don't even have to explain yourself. You just need to like ask them certain questions, which kind of rotate their mind in a way to have them look at what their previous actions were. Like, just be like, listen, man, what have you been doing the last couple of years? Like, every single weekend, what have you been doing? And it gets them thinking, right? You don't even have to explain yourself. You don't even have to explain what they're doing. They're gonna tell you, and they get self-conscious about it, and they know they're doing the wrong things, but they're making the wrong decisions. Every single one of you, you're where you are because of all the decisions you've made, bad and good, right? It's never the outside world. It's all you. So that's why you're where you are right now. And that's why they're where they are. Cool. Donnie, you got the volume working?
Yeah, it's back now, man. It was
There
just
we
not
go.
finding my speakers there, so had to restart.
There we go. Good stuff. How was your weekend?
It was good, man. Well, it's busy. I got the little dude's got a viral infection, so he's home from daycare today. So I got to,
No.
yeah, and I'm working nights, a couple nights this week. So I should be able to hop on tomorrow as well, which is nice for a change.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to before we start breaking everything down, I wanted to get a little update from you. You guys are getting ready to deploy?
Yeah, so we found out a couple weeks ago that our ship is 30 days notice to deploy. So it's been pretty hectic on board trying to get things ready to go and get out the door because like my specific job is I work on the weapon systems, like missiles specifically. So like I've been busy with trials, making sure that all of our canisters are functioning properly, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it in order to be ready to deploy. So it's just been hectic, man, and so my schedule's been thrown off, and I found that because of that, and still like the desire to trade, I kind of got a little sloppy 2 weeks ago, and I was forcing trades because of time crunches and
Mm,
hopping into an instrument that I don't normally trade, and just things got a little out of control.
okay.
So and then I got frustrated, like really frustrated. So I last week I just kind of took a step back, man, just kind of like I was busy with work, and the kid was getting sick. So I was like, you know what, I just gotta ground myself here and then get back to the game, next week if I
Okay.
can.
So right there, whatever happened right there, that's what we would call like a trigger. And this goes for all you guys too. So whenever something like that happens, like moving forward, reach out to me. Like, don't hesitate. Be like, yo, listen, I'm going through this. This happened, and I just need your help. Let's hop on a Zoom right now. And let's, Donnie, let's hop on a Zoom this week, so that we could like get to the bottom of some of these trades and decisions that you made, so that we don't do it again.
Yeah, man, that'd be great. Let's do that.
And then also, where do you know where your ship would be deploying to?
So we've got two ships. One ship that's gonna leave at the end of the month right now to meet another one in the Mediterranean. Basically, really they're getting close to the Black Sea in case something happens. Pretty much. So
Wow.
that's probably what we'll do as well. We'll probably be out there waiting around and seeing if things escalate. If there's like a no-fly zone put in there or something like that, we would be a part of that. So yeah, we'll be in that area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, let's pray, you guys don't actually have to deploy and this all calms down a little bit. Sammy and I were just talking about how gold just hit 2,000, and that's
insane, eh?
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, I was just saying, like, we've been calling that for the last 2 weeks, that happening, and I was getting the monthly wick fill, but at the same time, it's still just crazy to see.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure.
So what's up, Chris? Good morning.
What's up, Steph?
Good morning, buddy. I liked your video this morning.
Morning, thank you, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot to push my
Praying
workout
for you,
last night.
praying for you, Donnie and your family, man.
Donnie?
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm hoping things don't really pop off kinetically here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. It's
And thank you for your service, man. We appreciate and love you, man.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that, man. Means a lot.
That's awesome. All right, guys, let's get into the economic calendar over here. I do have a quick update though. As you guys know, I have a lot of wedding stuff like coming up, and this weekend is actually my bachelor party. So it's going to be kind of a shorter week. I'm not going to be here Thursday or Friday, and then I'll be gone Saturday and Sunday, obviously. But we're actually going to be down in Miami, so I'll be close to you, Kat. So yeah, it's going to be a shorter week for me, but we're going to get a lot done from today on to Wednesday. And again, if any of you guys need Zooms before Thursday, please let me know. We'll most certainly hop on. I have fairly an emptier schedule this week, as opposed to like drives with clients, stuff like that. So I'll be able to hop on Zooms and go through things. Sammy, if you finish the course early, or by this week, we can most certainly hop on that second Zoom. And then that goes for any of you guys. If Carlos, if you want a little, update, or after your little vacation, want to hop on, look at some charts, let me know. Donnie, of course, let's schedule something for this week. And then Chris, I would love to hop on an actual Zoom with you, just break down some charts on gold and get all that done. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get into the economic calendar. It's CPI week. We don't have too much going on today as far as economic calendar events, but we do have some data coming out of Japan, bank lending, current account, average cash earnings. So that's going to be a big deal tonight. So we'll see what we end up coming out with 6:30 during the Asian session. So tonight I'll be doing a full breakdown, fundamental and technical with Sharma. And, I'll update that and send that to you guys as soon as she sends it over to me. Tuesday, again, kind of a slower day as far as like economic calendar events, nothing big. And I think a lot of us are going to be waiting for not only CPI, which is, again, CPI day is Thursday. We do have George job openings on Wednesday, but also a lot of what the markets are going to be doing this week is, again, the tensions in Eastern Europe, right? So that's the main focus, and right now it's not calming down at all. The U.S. Defense Department of Defense released like the amount of missiles that's been launched into Ukraine, which is kind of insane. It's like a ridiculous number. But anyway, Tuesday, not too many things going on tomorrow, but Joel's job openings is a big deal because, again, this is March, and a lot of the data is going to be telling the Fed, okay, what do we do? Do we increase rates, or do we stay the same right now? Or do we increase rates by 50 basis points? And that all depends on how many good stats we have coming out of the US as far as the economic recovery from COVID. So Joel's job openings is something that shows the Fed, like, okay, we've been stimulating the economy, we've been keeping low interest rates, we've been doing all that stuff. But do we have a lot of job openings that people could be taking right now, but they're not because they have favorable monetary policy where they don't have to work as much, right? And a lot of people getting paid right now not to work. So I know that's been de-escalated over the last couple months, maybe the last year, but at the same time, we still have a lot of systems in place to help people that don't have jobs. But do they actually have the ability to work, or are they just choosing not to work, or are they choosing not to work? Right. So that's what they want to know. And this is what they're going to be telling them, the Joel's job openings. Thursday, CPI, right? We're going to see if we have prices increasing, which obviously they're expecting another 0.8% increase this month. So, which is not good. Core CPI, they're expecting it to drop a little bit over here. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the gas prices right now, but they are just skyrocketing. It's kind of ridiculous. But again, this is where I've been talking about how we need to produce our own oil again. And if we do, we become the leaders of the world, and we could get right around $2 a gallon again, right? But we're choosing not to. And we're importing from all places. We're importing oil from Russia, which we need to stop. And I think they are talking about that. I'm looking over here. Look at Bloomberg. I saw a little article over here about that. I'll find it in a little bit, but talking about like taking oil in from Russia, which would be a good thing. That's what would actually hurt Russia and cause them not to be continuing the invasion. Friday, get some Canadian data coming out as well. You have GDP coming out for Great Britain pound. You got a lot of stats coming out for the Great Britain pound as well. And then later in the day, 10 a.m., you have University of Michigan consumer sentiment. What are we thinking about the economy right now? And then also inflation expectations as well. So, sorry, that's something that you want to take a look at. But let's get into the charts and see where we're going to end up going today as far as price is concerned. So we have our multi-year downtrend, which we've already broken, but it looks like we're coming down to retest that area as well. We have our bullish trend from COVID, our economic recovery over here, but it looks like we're starting to break that area as well, right? So we're starting to break the bullish trend that we've been in. Maybe not. Maybe we can adjust this to see if it makes sense to keep over here, but so far right now, we are starting to break that. I'm just going to mark off 156, which we're heavily rejecting right now. 149, which it looks like we're coming right back down to. And let's just look at our candles right over here. Again, multiple rejections over here of 156. And now looking at the current month, as I said, we were up here last week. I was saying it's the very beginning of March and we're already over here. So what are the chances that this March candle could be as big as one of these, where we go from 149 to 156 in 1 month, right? So can we go from 156 all the way down to 149 this month? I could definitely see it. further tensions. We're already passing the previous wicks over here. We have fairly a clean move over here to the left. We do have this support, which was a previous resistance as well. I believe that is 151. 151 flat right over here. So we need to we can actually mark that off, but I'll mark that off in the lower time frames. But so far we are just coming right back down to this area down here. And if you also look at the Japanese yen, whenever the Japanese yen holds support like this, I know we're in this bearish trend. We broke this down, I believe, on Friday, right? We've been in this bearish trend over here, coming all the way back down to 86, but we're holding support. And you see these hard, strong, bullish candles over here on the Japanese yen. So whenever you get that, you're going to see GJ fall, especially with tensions in the market. So looking over here, it looked like we were holding support at 153 flat, which I'll mark off. So it looked like we were holding support here. This candle last week was all the way up here. And at the end of the week, we ended up just dropping, flipping bearish, a lot of fear of the market again, people pulling the money into the Japanese yen, nothing calming down in Ukraine, and we just flipped bearish, breaking 153 and closing all the way back down here, right? Now, I'm looking at this area that we're at. You know, if you look at the lower time frames, which we'll see in a second, we are holding a support somewhere in here. So we have a heavy rejection to the left of these two areas, got, you know, previous resistance, support in here, and now we're sitting right at that area as well. Plus, we're pretty overextended. We had 158. Let's mark that off in a second. Then 157. Which we really don't have to mark down right now, but I just like having them on the chart. Well, we ended up rejecting these levels and just shooting right down, as we pretty much called. We said that would happen if we didn't hold 153. I did not expect this all to happen, for this whole candle to create that top wick, flip bearish, and close all the way down here on a Friday. That was pretty surprising to me. You know, I know a couple of you guys caught that, which was awesome, but we closed all the way down here, and now we're kind of stalling out. So are we going to be coming up, holding support here, coming up to 153 to retest, and then possibly continue down? Continue down at 149. We do have clean moves to the left, but we also do have this area right over here to the left as well, which I can mark off 151, 400, I would say. So right now we're kind of stalling out over here. This candle created a top wick, past the low of this candle right over here, and now we're kind of retracing a little bit. But can we continue right back down? Again, this is the weekly. Looking at the daily looks pretty similar over here. But now you could see that area I'm talking about. Resistance, support, right? Support to the left over here. Previous area of rejection. So now that's where we're kind of sitting right now. So again, can we come up and kind of create price action like this, where we hold support, we continue up here, hold a resistance, and then you could definitely grab this move down depending on the price action, because you do have clean moves here. Once we break support over here, 151, 400, once we break the area, we got to move all the way down here. Got about 140 pips in here, maybe 150. Got about 150 pips all the way back down to this area. Looking at the 4 hour now. Now you see the support holding. So now we're sitting in a range. As this candle passed the low of the previous, right? Strong bearish candle, liquidity grab though. So it passed the high and the low. So we see some indecision with this candle right here. So automatically, if this candle rejects this area, just like it did, we're now sitting in this range. So now maybe you could draw this kind of like that with these wicks right over here. You kind of had like a fake out over here, and price came right back down to 151, 400. No, excuse me. Trying to see if we should adjust that to 500. Yeah, why not? Actually, let's see. Yeah, that will. We'll bring this to 500 right here. So we had kind of like a little fake out over here, and then we could draw this support. So again, now we're in this range. Are we stalling out? Are we going to have something kind of like this area right here, where we had this high being tapped, 155? If you guys remember this, this is that tank that we had on Friday last week, where we came all the way down to 151, 500. So we ended up having something like this. We stalled out a little bit. We held support, consolidated, grabbed orders, and then we ended up just tanking from here. So can we be doing the same exact thing right here, where we grab orders a little bit, we break support right down here, and then we continue bearish from this area, kind of mirroring the same move over here? Or do you think we're going to end up coming right back up to 153 flat, retesting it, and then continuing down? All right, so we have multiple different options here of what could possibly happen. And then if you look to the left, I just want to see some of the area that we have. So yeah, I would actually just keep it at 153. Get the clean move to the left here that you can mirror, so you don't have to worry too much about what's over here to the left. And we'll see if we get this move right here. I wouldn't trade anything in here. This is where you guys can draw that black box. And I would also wait for the support to break and continue here. This is the move you take, and this is the move you take. Sound clear?
Yes.
Cool. That makes sense to you, Kat?
Yeah. I feel like ranges like that are usually
I'm with
a
you.
bit easier to look at.
Yeah. Oh, what? When I do this?
Yeah, I mean, like also just in general, like when we've had such either a bullish or bearish run and like now price is just consolidating, it's like, okay, now it's either going to break up or go down.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could just wait for that range to break. You don't have to trade it. You could just sit back and watch it, watch other people get trapped, right? Think about what most people are doing and do the opposite. So watch other people get trapped in here. Can they catch some trades in there? Absolutely. But what are you catching 5, 10 pips and securing most of it, stop loss at break even? You might as well just wait for that, because you got a clean move here. And let's say you miss those, not miss, but you lose those trades in here, right? And you end up, being down 1 or 2%, and then you're able to catch this move right over here. And then all of a sudden you end up at break even because you were trying to trade in here. Whereas opposed to just waiting here, right? And then just taking this move, and now you're up 2-3%. Right? It's all about just decision making.
Right.
So we'll see where we end up going over here. If we just continue to grab orders, maybe we create a lower high over here, tapping into this area, and then form that resistance to continue down. But we need to close below 153, 350 right over here. All right. So that is GJ right now. Actually, I would just get rid of that. We're basically just ranging. Looking at gold over here too. We have, again, we had that move coming all the way up. We had a beautiful February candle due to fear in the market with a wick to fill. Created a small bottom wick on this candle, filled that wick right away. As soon as last week, and then also what's it called, to open up this week. You guys saw that massive move yesterday morning on Sunday. We just skyrocketed up right up to 2,000. So now 2,000 is somewhere we'll form that level right there. Almost had it. Here we go. So we'll hold that resistance right up there. We'll see if we're going to end up crossing above it. I bet we are. Are we going to end up filling this wick at 2074 from COVID? And now these are all-time highs. This isn't like that big. It's not like it's not that big of a deal. This is, if we reach all-time highs and continue through there, I think that's gonna, I mean, that would be like World War III or something like that, like other countries starting to get involved physically. We'll see if that happens, but if that happens, you can definitely count on that. But let's draw some of our levels over here. Bullish run over here, 1680. $17.50. $18.30. Some of these key higher time areas. 1910. And that's about it on the higher time frames. But right now, we reached that 2000 level. So like I said, whenever you reach a higher time frame level like that, a lot of the times, not every time, but a lot of the times, you're going to get some kind of a rejection from that area, just like we got over here. Or could we push through it, kind of like what we did over here, where this candle closed with no top wick, this candle pushed all the way through, the next candle pushed all the way through and rejected it and came right back down. But then can we continue up from there? But what I'm thinking is this is all where we're maybe going for the monthly, and maybe we end up rejecting and retracing a little bit. But again, we're still at March 7th. So we could very well be continuing through 2000 and continuing up. I'm just saying that this is a typical spot where you're going to see a lot of buyers cashing out, sellers taking over, and we retrace from here. But we'll see if that actually happens. We got to trade what we see, not what we think. So very similar to the monthly candle over here. This candle closed with no top wick, and this candle passed the high right away. Looking at the monthly over here, you're getting something, or the weekly over here, you're getting something similar, right? This candle closed with no top wick. This candle continued right back up. So can we end up rejecting this, creating that top wick on this candle? This candle flips bearish and retraces back a little bit to maybe like 1950, which is a critical level on the weekly. So you get that resistance. Hold on. So as you see this resistance right over here, we could very well be rejecting it here, continuing right back down to here and holding some kind of a support. You guys see what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So looking at the daily now, the daily, we had a nice bullish run, right? We've been respecting higher highs, higher lows, kind of continuing up from this area over here. And it looks like we're pretty overextended, especially like this is the last retracement that we had, right? Where we created a high, we come down to retest, and we continue up. So typically on any time frame, how far does this normally go before we get some kind of a retracement, right? So now that we tapped into 2000 over here, we could very well be retracing from this area and maybe retesting the previous resistance. Now, we don't have to come all the way down to 1950. We could very well be coming down to this area right over here, this previous wick, and then we continue up from here. Hold on one second. All right. So if everyone see what I'm talking about with this. So we could either come back down to this wick, or we could come back down to 1950 over here, grab liquidity. We get in over here. I know a lot of you guys are getting FOMO over this move from last night, but we could very well be coming right back down to this level, and then you could grab your buys back up to 2000 and retest it. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. 4 hour, there you go. You got that resistance forming right now. You have that resistance forming right now, but so far we still do have this support that we're respecting, right? So we need to keep an eye on that. We're not just going to blindly jump into a sell. We need to wait for levels to break in a bullish market. We have fundamentals behind us for any kind of buys, right? So we need to wait for this level to break, or maybe it's even lower before we kind of take any kind of sells. But right now we're starting to reject this area after this candle closed right there. This candle opened up right there, came right back down to here, formed that bottom wick, but we ended up holding support and closing a strong bullish candle. But we also rejected 2000 again, right? So this candle right now so far is bearish, but it's rejecting this level, right? It's creating that bottom wick so far in the 4 hour. Now we have about an hour and 45 minutes before the 4 hour candle closes. So we'll see if we close above this level or below it, and that'll tell us where we're probably going. Or this candle closes right where it's at. The next candle creates like a top wick, like something like this. And then we ended up flipping bearish, passing the low. You get a clean move to the left, and you could possibly grab part of this move. But you'll if this is the 30-minute, I could see you doing that. But this is the 4 hour, so we need to see what's going on in the lower time frames. All right, so again, we're rejecting this previous support over here. We need that close below in the lower time frames to take this. But this is a very strong bearish candle, right? This candle passed the low right away. No top wick over here. So can we just be creating a support or holding a support and then maybe continuing up from there? So we just got to see if that's what we'll get to. 30-minute. Just going to adjust this. You do have this support, so I'm curious if we close below this support as well. So we'll see. What is it? We got 9 minutes left for this 7 o'clock 30-minute candle to close. So we'll see if we close above or below this, and we'll see if on the lower time frames you had about 50, 60 pips right back down to the support. So we'll see if there's anything that we can grab over here. This is a pretty overextended move. I could see us definitely reacting to this area and holding a support and then maybe later breaking that support. But let's see what we end up getting on the lower time frames. Let's see. 15-minute is flipping bearish over here. Created a top wick. We have a wick to fill so far. Could we be coming down to fill that wick? Let me see the, yeah, 5-minute looks good to do so. We have this rejection of 2000. We have the bearish trend over here, lower high, price held resistance. We're now holding another lower high over here. We had this doji candle right there, closed like a weak bearish doji candle. This candle did create its top wick, flip bearish, past the low of that wick. So what are the chances we're coming down to this area right here? It's up to you if you want to take that. But this is a very key level that you want to watch out for. So you got to ask yourself, do I want to take this on the 15-minute time frame or the 5-minute time frame? Or do I want to wait for the 30-minute to close over here, being that it's going to close in 8 minutes? I want to see if it closes here, because you know you're going to get, actually, I mean, looking at the last 3 30-minute candles, we haven't had top wicks. So maybe the next one doesn't have that top wick and we just continue down from there. Now, also, guys, keep in mind, it's Monday, right? You guys aren't in any kind of a rush to just jump into trades. You want to be patient with this. So you have the 30-minute closing in 8 minutes, actually 7 minutes now. So you can be patient and wait for certain things to happen over here. You don't have to just kind of jump into a trade. Be selective. Don't let the market control your emotions. But the 5-minute does look good too, and it looks poised to retest this low over here, which it is right now. So what are the chances we continue down? I think we end up rejecting this level right here, and we're tracing up a little bit. And then we get the next 30-minute candle creating a top wick, 15-minute candle creating a top wick, passing the low over here. And I think this could be a move that we get. Exactly, Chris. Now, Chris, would you agree that maybe after the 30 closes, we have about 40 pips right here once we pass the low over here, creating a top wick? Guys, always try to picture where you think price is going to go. Kind of like draw different things out like this, right? Could very well be getting that as well on the 5-minute. Yeah, that'll be a nice scalp for a Monday. 15-minute. All right, we created this wick, or looks like we're filling it. Next candle creates a top wick. Pass the low over here. Titties there. Wow. Man, what was it? I think it was Saturday morning. I woke up at 4. Didn't go to bed till 2 the next morning. Yesterday, barely got any sleep. And then this morning, woke up early. I barely got any sleep this weekend.
Oh no,
Yeah, it's not
you
good.
must be tired.
But before the 30-minute candle closes over here, just give me a second. I'll be right back. But I want some of you guys to send your charts for some of these pairs over here and let me know what you're thinking. Also, we also do have this whole area right here. Previous support, resistance in here as well. Wow, look at that. 5-minute just closed. Let's see if we end up rejecting this level over here. But you see how we have that previous support resistance right over here. And now we're kind of sitting right in that area. Got 5 minutes left. And if we miss this, we miss it. You know, it's fine. We just came to the chart. You're not just gonna like jump into a trade. And think about this too. Always keep this in your mind. You could not take a trade from Monday or Sunday all the way till Wednesday, and then take your own, you know, you only see your setups on Thursday and Friday and still be more profitable than most people in the market. Right? So trading isn't always about action. It's not always about like, I always need to be taking a trade, stuff like that. It's about being patient and just waiting for your setup. It's just like fishing, right? Or hunting. You're just sitting back and waiting. If you don't get what you want, you're not going to take it. You know? So give me like 2 minutes. Send your charts when you get a chance, and I'll be right back. All right, just what we wanted to see, right? Got a little rejection over here, which leaves a wick on the 15-minute and the 30-minute. We're gonna close in 1 minute over here. Let's see if we're rejecting this area. I hate having big zones like that, so we're just gonna adjust that to here. As you can see, the 2 wicks dropping down into that area. Got that resistance right here, and now we're starting to reject this area over here. So are we gonna close above or below? You have Cat coming in to send a chart, I believe. All right, we just closed above on the 30-minute. 15-minute closed bearish, but again, long bottom wick rejected. We'll see if this candle, let's get rid of this trend line. We'll see if this candle right here creates a top wick and starts flipping bearish, which it looks like it's already doing. Take a look at our other time frames over here. The question is the 4 hour. How big is this 4 hour candle going to be? Right? Like, I think, you know, we either close around here or we either close up here and end up rejecting this level up here, because like the 4 hour candle could only be like so big after price action like this. Because I think the next candle, and I think our move of the morning for gold is going to be that top wick here after closing right there. And then we can continue down to fill that wick. That makes sense? Chris, you see the same thing? Yeah. Yeah, so I could see us end up rejecting this area for a little bit during pre-New York. Oh, maybe not. 15-minute candle flipping bearish. Now we did have this little support formed. Like if you guys just erase that, we have this resistance on the 5-minute and this support on the 5-minute. So can the 5-minute close below that area and continue down? That's the question. Anybody have any charts of what they're looking at? That's how you guys get better. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Oh, good shit, Carlos. I agree with that, Chris. And Cat, good stuff. Let's take a look at this chart. End up opening 2 of them. Okay, so this is GJ. You're saying no trade zone in here. So you're not looking for like a resistance to form on 153 up here, Carlos? Oh God. What's up, Carlos? I didn't hear you.
So I was looking for a resistance at 153.
Yeah, so like if something like this, where price holds this support over here, we come up into this area, major resistance, which we ended up breaking last week. We still have tensions in the market. We could hold resistance over here and come right back down and retest this low over here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
So it's like all these sellers are cashing out. They're grabbing profits. Buyers are going to take over for a little bit, right? We retrace in the beginning of the week. We create that top wick on the weekly candle. And then we end up flipping bearish on the weekly candle, you know, halfway through the week, maybe on Wednesday, and continue down. That's what I could see happening, because you got some heavy bearish volume over here, and we could very well create something like this to then continue down. Maybe it's confusing with a red marker. But you see what I'm saying? Something like this. But you could be right. We end up breaking that resistance, right? Coming right back above 153. Less tensions in the market, and we continue up. You know?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. No, I definitely see what you're saying for sure.
100%. And then I like this right over here, right? You wait for that support to break, retest, and take this thing down. And then that retest, you know, we get clean moves to the left. That retest, keep in mind, can always just be a top wick on a higher time frame, like the 30-minute flips bearish. right? So we're continuing down over here on the 5-minute. Wow, we're just dropping over here on gold. Feeling that wick continuing down. See that level 2000 over here. That's what I was saying. Like we reject that pretty hard. A lot of buyers take over or take profit at that area, and then we end up just dropping from that level. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. That's a GJ. GJ holding that support. Maybe we'll end up breaking this resistance over here, so that we could grab our move. Samuel, what are you looking at, buddy? Sam, are you there? One, four, one, three, three. Okay. Sam is eating.
Kind of watching EJ right now, breaking through that resistance.
You looking at EJ?
Yeah.
Awesome. Send a chart over. We'll
All
put
right.
it down. Okay, so 4-hour resistance. You're looking at gold, dollar, five minute. Will we reject this 4-hour support and continue to the upside, or will we continue to the corrective move? I like it. So you're looking at this support right over here. Again, looking back at, yeah, like I said, with the 4-hour and the 4 hours a stronger time frame, like what are the chances that this 4-hour is like extremely strong over here, right? And then just like, and we miss this entire move. I don't see that happening. You know, something like that. I see it's closing somewhere around this area over here, and the next candle creating a top wick. New York Stock Exchange opens, and then we fall a little bit. Because again, you're trading against the trend. You're trading against like everything going on in the world right now. You're trying to take a sell on gold. Is that worth doing? Maybe not. We saw cats, but looking at gold and GJ buys above same area. Cool. Yeah, it's you got to be very selective when you're trying to trade against the trend over here. As you can see, we're starting to reject over here. Fill that wick.
Yeah, I was very skeptical about going against the world, basically. You know.
Exactly. That's always something that you always have to keep in your mind. Like especially with what's going on right now, because things like now and a possible World War III don't always happen. So, you know, with that going on right now, you're trading against gold. You need to wait for some retests before you're taking sells, right? You need to wait for levels to break like what we have over here. Like you want to wait for this level to break and retest, because guess what? You got so much room right here that you could be trading in.
Yeah.
You could I would take this if we got something like this. Get the break of this level, little fill of that wick, retest this level right here, and this candle alone to mirror is plenty of pips right there for you to catch. But you're waiting for levels to break. I have a video in the course of how to call tops and bottoms if you're going to do it. What you want to do is wait for the level, you know, most recent support or resistance to break on the higher time frames, like the 30-minute, the 1 hour. Wait for that level to break, wait for it to retest, and then you can take that down. If you're going to wait for any kind of safe trade, that would be it when you're trading against the trend. DJ is taking off right now, though. Just need that close above. Again, 80 pips. That's plenty for you. Plenty of room to move. You miss this move, oh well. Donnie, thank you. Thanks for sending your charts, guys. This helps me help you. Cool. Okay, I could see this. So we have this resistance right here. So you're looking for that break and retest. Do you know what time you would end up taking this, Donnie? It's the 15-minute.
Yeah, so what I've noticed with EJ is like when that London market closes around like 11 p.m. my time, 11
Okay.
Eastern, or sorry, 11 Atlantic, so it'd be 10 for you guys. It really starts to like the volume just pumps it in whatever direction, right? I'd probably start looking around like 9:30 EST to start looking for a setup here.
Okay. I like it.
But yeah, I've really found that like over the last couple weeks, in my plan, you know, I trade GJ as my primary pair and EJ, you know, is my secondary if there's no setups on GJ. And typically I like to wait for GJ. So I'm sometimes hesitant with EJ, but I've noticed that right around the London close, it really pumps.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually used to trade EJ a lot. I kind of kicked it out just because I wanted to concentrate on two pairs. And then instead of having like another currency pair, I wanted to make that third pair at some point be US 30. I like the your trading view name, Scotia.
Yeah.
FX.
Yeah, it's funny. I had that like, you know, Nova Scotia, right, is where
Yep.
I live. And I had Scotia Trade as my name for a longest time, like 2017. Then I realized that Scotiabank, their trading platform was Scotia Trade. And I was like, oh shit.
I like
Probably
it.
shouldn't copyright that, you know?
Yeah. might want to change it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very similar to GJ. You're just waiting for that level to break and retest and take this thing out. And as you can see, like this is a little overextended over here, right? So once we close above this area, just wait for that little retest over here and we could very well continue up from there, depending on the volume that we get.
Like a full body break and retest? Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, we are quite overextended.
Yeah. Yeah, I would wait for, if you guys want to draw it here, something like this. So we got a nice bullish candle over here. I could very well see us getting even just like, it could be like a small retest right here. And then you get a bullish close.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
If you get a nice bullish close like this with a wick to fill, and then, you know, you could enter right after that candle with your stop loss above, right here. Anticipating this. At least grabbing 20 pips. So we'll see. We'll see if we even close above that level. We could very well reject it and continue to consolidate. That's why you stay patient. Five minute. Yeah, we're starting to kind of consolidate in this area a little bit in the lower time frames. This is where these lower time frames come in handy, right? I'm not saying to trade on here. I'm not saying to like always take your trades on the 5 minute. If you're not comfortable doing that, don't do it. And if you haven't back tested it yet, don't do it. But just you know, you can see how price reacts to certain levels. Like right now, it's just a bottom wick on the 15 minute, right? We keep going back and forth. So how do you find out what's going on in this area? You also have this previous support on the 15 minute. You go down to the lower time frames and you see that support being formed. Previous support, resistance on the 5 minute. We're now rejecting that area multiple times. 1 minute, same exact thing. It looks like we keep trying to retest this area and break this area, but we keep failing to do so. But we are creating these lower highs, just not lower lows. So what's everyone's plans for the week? You guys getting yourselves ready? You got your nightly journal last night?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going through a little bit of a transition point. I'm not
Okay.
sure what that means yet. I'm trying to figure it out.
You're not sure what means.
My little, pretty much what I explained in the AAR thingy.
Okay. That's right. So yeah, I want to
For me.
hold on, let me go back to that. What did I say back to you? Well, we have our Zoom at 11 today.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll break all this stuff down and start clearing stuff out for you. Because I mean, it's like I said, it's very common for people to get that cloudiness in their head when they're breaking charts down, and this could very well happen after a couple losses too. Like when you take losses and you start to second guess yourself, it tends to happen, especially in the beginning of your trading career. So don't get too discouraged and never lose belief in yourself. Right? That's number one. I was talking to Paul about that the other day. It's you always need to believe that you're going to be able to trade full time. You are worthy of doing this, because a lot of people don't like to not don't like to, but they don't think they're worthy of it because it's comfortable to be where they're at right now. Right? It's not comfortable to be making a lot of money. Like it seems unfathomable. Right? But you just need to believe in your skill that you're going to get there. And never lose belief. Just know that you have that growth mindset where every single time you make an error, it's a lesson opportunity. It's a learning opportunity for you.
Yeah, I kind of want to chime in there because like I've had as you know a longer trading career, unsuccessful trading career than quite a few people here. But what's really helped me is shortening that period in between that doubt, because I've lost faith in myself too many times and I'd be down and out, and that time in between before I picked myself back up was it was just wasted time. And so I've learned that, all right, after I get those feelings, just to dust it off as quick as possible and get back on track. And it's really helped. Like I had a few good weeks. Like the start of this year has been incredible for me. I found I was setting up trades nicely and I had such good confidence. And then 2 weeks ago, I just like absolutely crushed it with a horrible week, outside of my trading plan. And then I got discouraged and then, had all those negative feelings, but I was able to kind of dust myself off and now I'm right back to where I was. So I guess I'll just say shortening that time in between when you're knocked down and just getting right back up has been pretty helpful.
That's an amazing point, dude. Because I mean, the one way that people can learn, especially like in our group, we got our family here. People, the more vulnerable a lot of you guys are, especially the ones that have been trading for a while, including myself, the better everyone else is going to get, because everyone can relate with that. Like I've been there in the beginning of my trading career where like one day I would come to the chart and I'd be like, I'm just not seeing everything the right way, right? I feel like I'm missing all these levels. I don't know where to draw my levels, stuff like that. And the best thing that helps is just erasing your chart and just drawing the most recent support resistance and concentrating on that. And then you can look to the left to see if those areas are getting rejected to the left as well on your higher time frames. So, but the one thing that I never lost was belief in myself. I always knew I could do this, especially because I've always been disciplined in the market, right? That's something I've never really struggled with is making. Have I had slip ups? Absolutely, many of them. But at the same time, it's always been more of a strong suit for me compared to many of the other people I've talked to in this market. Way before I even started this group, it was always discipline being my strong suit and me being able to help other people with their discipline. Even from the beginning, I've been able to do that. So, but the one thing, like I said, Kat, belief in yourself that you're going to be able to do this, and every single error is a lesson for you. Just like Donnie was just talking about, you're going to be very well off. You're going to do well.
Yeah, no, I totally see where you guys are coming from. it gets really easy to get like stuck in a little bit of a slump, and then like how they say in Spanish, te estás ahogando en un vaso de agua. Basically, you're drowning in a cup of water. So yeah,
I
feel
love
like
that
it's
saying.
really-
Yeah, that's great. Carlos probably knows what you're talking about.
You know what's funny too? Like I noticed 2 weeks ago when I had that horrible week and I was undisciplined because I'm opposite as you of you, Steph, and I'll admit it. Like I struggled with discipline many times, and it's those moments when you're not disciplined that you can crush all the progress that you've had, with your account and really with your belief in yourself and confidence. But I found that there's like signs that I've noticed in my discipline and trading. It's like if I'm not disciplined in my eating that week, and I'm not disciplined in my gym, and I'm not disciplined in all of my day-to-day activities, I'm also not disciplined in my trading. It's like really it spills over in every aspect of your life. Like if I know that if I'm up, I find it funny, like just flossing my teeth. If I bail out on that all week, I'm like, that's a sign to me that I'm losing out on like my discipline. And it's like, all right, I gotta watch for that because now am I skipping the gym? Am I eating shitty? Yeah, I find that it all happens at once for me. That
No
week
balls.
I was eating like garbage. I was skipping the gym. I wasn't flossing my teeth,
Mhm.
and I was making horrible decisions in my trading.
Yeah,
And then I was
there's
like,
no secret that those all are interconnected.
100%.
And one example, like I don't know if any of you guys are doing this stuff, but Raquel, I don't know if you guys remember, but he would hop on like some of those Instagram lives. He'd be high as shit. You guys remember that?
I do.
Okay, so and it was hilarious. Like just I hopped on that live with him. He's high as fuck. Like I'm just trying to talk to him about trading, and he was high as hell. He could still talk and stuff, but the one thing though, when he moved to Pakistan, I think he stopped smoking. And somebody was asking him on the live, like, can you smoke and trade at the same time? And he said, well, I will say this. When I moved to Pakistan and I haven't been smoking, my lot size went from 10 20 lots to now 50 and 100 lots. Like he feels more in tune with everything he's doing now. That's a major major thing that someone would have in their life to completely cut out. And that feeling of cloudiness and not thinking straight, stuff like that. Can you do it? Sure, right? But guess what? I don't know anybody that smokes throughout the week and can accomplish everything that they want to and feel good about themselves as well, right? It's the same thing. I mean, we can really get into I don't want to get into this too much into depth, but especially with young men in this world right now, we have such access to pornography that I don't know anybody that is proud of themselves for doing that, right? So certain things like that, when you cut those things out, you're going to see your life starting to progressively get much better, right? And when you're cutting out things like that, or when you're doing things like working out, right, on a daily basis, all those things, cutting certain things like that out, and then adding things like working out, eating cleanly, flossing your teeth, doing all those things, it's all going to transfer right over to your trading. Your trading account is a direct reflection, I think, of obviously the work that you're putting in with your trading, but also your entire daily life, your weekly life. Because the good and the bad part about trading is that it only takes a loss or two, first of all, to lose a lot of confidence. But then on the other end of that, it only takes 2 or 3 wins in a row where you are just feeling great. You're feeling almost euphoric, which you need to, calm down. You can't get too euphoric with that. But that's the thing with trading is like, it's only like for you, Kat, it's only going to take 2 or 3 great decisions and great wins for you to like get right back on track and feel great about your trading again. That's the cool part about trading. Now, also, the cool part about this is when I say managing your risk sometimes if you manage it perfectly, or you feel like you managed it perfectly, where it's like you took a very small loss when it could have been a much bigger loss, that's almost a win as well. And that builds confidence as well. I know it does for me. I hope it does for you guys too. I'm sure Chris, I could see Chris being the same way. Or any of you guys. When you take a small loss and you're able to manage that risk, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And then you follow that with another great decision and a win.
Yeah, it's almost like a win when you manage.
It is 100%, because we are gonna lose. You guys can't come into the market knowing like, oh my God, there's an opportunity for me to not take any losses. I'm the man. I could make all these trades a win. It's not like that statistically. So statistically, you guys need to make sure that you're on track with managing those losses when they come, because they are going to come.
Because a lot of people, like, as soon as they go in drawdown, they start hoping, I hope it's going to go back into profit and I'll close it, or I hope it'll reverse, and they're not doing what they're seeing. They're just hoping now.
And that takes a while for someone to get out of that, right? And that's where people go from either losing to break even to being a break even trader, or going from being a break even trader to being a profitable trader, when they can control their emotions in those states and know that I'm more focused on containing my capital and preserving my capital than I am of making a shit ton of money or catching these 20 pips. Like, you don't have to catch the 20 pips on this one trade, right? If this is a losing trade, if it's not happening the way it does for you, like, you guys see me plenty of times where, I'll break down a whole setup and I'll break down a whole trade, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm expecting on this trade, where I'm expecting this wick fill right away, especially if it's an impulse entry, right? And it doesn't happen like that. We pass the high of the previous candle. Price ends up consolidating a little bit, like it's struggling to, fill the wick, or continuing to just skyrocket up, because in the beginning of the candle it was moving very fast, and then it slows down a little bit. That's where you get that intuition of your pair, and you're like, all right, you know what? I need to cut some off of this, or I need to get out of this trade. It's not working out. It's not playing out the way I planned it to play out. So when you guys can get to that, you guys are going to be in a great spot. But that comes with back testing. Our 1 hour candle's going to close.
I enjoyed this conversation.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I love having these conversations with you guys. Sometimes it takes a lot to get out of you. Some days we'll have like sessions where, I'm just breaking down the charts. No, everyone's kind of tired. No one wants to talk. But like these questions, or, one person brings one thing up, it just snowballs into like a great conversation where everyone's getting something out of it. I love those. But you can't like force them. Like, they just happen organically. And sometimes, they'll happen right when I start the session, before I even break the chart down. And I'm like, damn, I want to get into the chart so we don't miss any trades and everyone understands where we're moving. But at the same time, I don't ever want to stop those conversations, because they could be more valuable than me breaking the charts down. Way more valuable. As you guys know, most of this market is psychological, right? It's all just your mental state when it comes to trading, and your account and your trading is all a direct reflection of your decisions and your mental state. So, the more we focus on that, I think the better we'll be. We could very well focus on charts and stuff like that, but I think some of these psychological talks are very important. When you're having that wishful thinking and deep down you have a feeling that trade is going to hit stop loss, more than half the time that gut feeling was right. Yeah, exactly. Like, again, with a trade like that, Cat, price could very well go in your direction. But what us as traders, we're always thinking in probabilities. So you got to understand that most of those trades you're probably going to lose. So you might as well take half off, or just hop out and wait for the next setup.
Yeah.
1 hour's going to close right here, right? And then maybe we end up just continuing to consolidate, and then the 4 hour closes right around here as well. 1 hour looks strong though, but a lot of these candles don't have these top wicks, which is kind of crazy. Go 8 o'clock. Last 15-minute ended up closing bullish with a top, strong 15-minute candle right at this level. 1982, right here. And as you see on the 1 minute, how many times did we reject this level? That's why you use those lower time frames. You can see how price reacts to it, right? And now we're not creating these lower highs anymore. Right now, we just came right back up to that resistance over here. So right now, this is just one big range on the 1 minute. So all these time frames are the same. The only difference is time between them. Here we go. So again, like I said, I could very well see us holding support right here and closing somewhere like this, but still a strong bearish candle on the 4 hour. Let's say the 4 hour reacts to this area. The next 4 hour creates that top wick, holds support over here. And then later on, stock exchange opens at 9:30. This candle starts to flip bearish again and continue down because a lot of people in New York are now cashing out after tapping 2000 over here. And then we continue down to like 1950. But we have a lot of tensions in the market right now. We got a lot of things going on that it's hard for me to sell gold, if that makes sense. Like we could very well end up holding like a higher low over here and continuing up, which is another talk we need to actually have, especially on this 30-minute over here. Can we hold support just past the high of the previous 30-minute? No bottom wick on this candle right here. Can 1982 be that support in here where we then continue up? GJ reacting to that resistance. That's why we wait. See, sometimes you can play ranges. This one would have been difficult to play up until this move right here. So after reacting here and closing a strong bearish candle with a bottom wick to fill, you could potentially grab this move coming down over here. This one would have been difficult because once we broke this more recent resistance right here, there was no like retest. You did have a clean move to the left, but there was no like confirmation of like, all right, where am I going to take this? What are you going to take it like right here? Potentially, but you need price to tap that area to get close to a 1-to-1. But right over here, this possibly could have been a move that you could grab as this candle created its top wick and passed the low of this candle. But as you guys know, I'm very patient on Mondays. Like and this is the 15-minute trading in a range. Like I'm not anxious to take a trade like this. I don't know. The more I look at this, the more I like how we just rejected this area right here and we created a lower high. Let's look at some of our other time frames here. 1 hour.
My overall bias too is bearish on GJEJ, just due to the safe haven of the yen. But I was kind of looking at the same thing, Steph.
Yeah, there's just a lot of indecision in here on the higher time frames. It's not like we're holding like a clear support and breaking higher highs, higher lows of the previous 4 hours. Like this candle passed the low of this candle right over here, and the 4 hours going to close in an hour. So what are we gonna like retrace all the way back down to here? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. So a lot of question marks.
Exactly. Too much of a question mark on a Monday where we know that we're going to have plenty of moves throughout the week that we could take where we don't have to like force something like this. You never want to force trades. but I can see this playing out where we hold this resistance, mirror some of these moves right here. Right? And end up taking this thing right back down. But again, like I said, it's a Monday. I prefer a bearish move on GJ and obviously a bullish on gold. Yeah, if I'm taking any buys on GJ, like I said, this is the one we're waiting for. Right? Bearish move, safe buys or safe sells right below this area. You got a clean move to the left. But again, I can see this thing playing out. I don't think I'm going to take that. Let's get an update on gold again. I think we got Miles like just came in. What's up, Miles?
Hey, what's up? What's going on,
Morning,
man?
buddy. How are you?
Morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. We just did a full breakdown of both pairs over here. You looking at anything?
Yeah, I don't see anything that I like. But yeah, I have a GJ chart there. And I think I'm just going to paper trade for now.
Okay, cool.
If I do take any trades.
That's exactly what we were saying. I'll give you a quick update on gold over here. Gold, which is kind of crazy. We tapped 2,000. We did call that, but it's still crazy to see. The 4-hour candle over here, I think is going to close somewhere around this area. And then the next 4-hour candle, if anything, creates a top wick past the low of that candle, and then we could possibly continue down. But the only thing is, you're going against the trend of the world market. And, you know, like everything going on in the world right now, you're going to sell gold. Like, just think about that decision by itself. Forget about looking at the chart. Just the fundamental fact that you're selling gold right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why in certain areas like that, you just want to wait for areas to break, because you got plenty of moves right over here. And like I said, this candle alone coming right back down to this area, you got plenty of pip. You got almost 100 pips. You got about 90 pips right here just to fill this move. You know, so there's no point in just trying to force anything in here on a Monday. I mean, you know, I like to stay patient on Mondays. I don't have to force anything. And then GJ over here, basically what we did was we got a nice little doji candle right over here where we're now reacting to this area over here. And then we broke 153 on Friday. You know, you saw that tank from 155 up here, which we called. We called that rejection. I didn't think it was going to be this big on a Friday, but we ended up just tanking. Strong close below 153 over here, and we came right back down. This candle passed the low right away, right? Now it's starting to retrace. So what are the chances we come back up to 153 and then continue right back down? Then you get the 4 hours consolidating in here, obviously. So now, you know, on a Monday, do you want to trade in this? Probably not. 1 hour, again, I do see us. I was just breaking this down. I see another rejection of this area. The previous 1 hour did close a strong bullish candle. So could this candle just be creating a bottom wick to continue up and fill that wick? This is the move back up to 153. Which is the one I want to like kind of wait for right here. I don't want to, but what we were looking at just now was how the 30-minute looks and how we just rejected it with this doji candle. This candle created a top wick, passed the low of that candle. Could we be mirroring this candle and these candles right here to continue down into this area? But I'm just not going to take it because, you know, I'll just paper trade it knowing that it's Monday and we're not going to rush anything.
It's funny because I kind of just basically went back to basics in terms of like my trading style and trying to just get back to, you know, more basic stuff. And it's funny because now after doing that, like my chart markup looks pretty much identical to yours, which is funny. Just after I went back to not trying to, you know, kind of use a whole bunch of different ideas, and not a whole bunch, are just, you know, just going back to very, very basic. And now I'm like, oh, it's funny because my chart almost looks identical to yours, pretty much identical.
That's pretty cool to hear from my point of view, because like, you know, I've had a lot of you guys coming in here and I've always preached, you know, actually not always, right? The first couple of months I started the group, it was more of me trying to have people trade the way I do. And the more I realized that like, the more we went on, the more I realized that like I need to be teaching you guys how to trade, like form your own trading plan, form your own style of trading, because everyone looks at the market differently. But what I have noticed since doing that at the same time too, is a lot of you guys will come into the group the first couple of weeks, maybe first month or two, you'll be trading the way you guys do, but you'll be watching me on these live streams. And as time goes on, you'll start to notice like, wait a minute, like I like the way he trades, or this basic price action, just waiting for levels to break, really makes sense to me. I'm gonna start trying this out. They start trying it out and it really works for them, right? It's, again, not everyone looks at the market the same way. And if you guys trade differently, that's completely fine. But over time, you start to realize how keeping trading simple and not always looking for action is going to pay dividends in the long run. So it's cool hearing you say that now, like, watching the way I trade and, just drawing these simple, most recent support and resistance, waiting for levels to break and just taking those trades. I think, once you start subscribing to that, you're going to start noticing like a lot of things turning around.
And it's funny because like this is how I used to trade. It's not even a defensive trading, but this is, I guess, the majority of my trading career, like that's how I went about doing my chart markups. It was only like fairly recently, probably like in the last 6 months or so, where I tried to put a bit more emphasis on the higher time frames and basically just doing things a little bit differently in terms of using lines rather than the zone sometimes, and trying to focus more on the higher levels. And then just like within the last couple of weeks, I was like, let me go back to that's really intuitive to me, instead of trying to see the markets like anyone else. And then it's just funny how now kind of led me full circle. I started that way, and then once I started kind of adopt how other people mark up the charts, that it wasn't as intuitive to me, that it just kind of made things a bit more confusing. And then it brought me full circle, just going back to how I originally started. And then now it's like I just feel like a lot more clearly now.
That's awesome. Yeah. And this is where everything takes off for you too, because there's a very common cycle for traders where they'll start doing things one way, or they'll go through a couple different strategies and try to figure out what works out for them, and they'll finally find what works out for them, and they'll notice that that's like very simple. That type of trading, that the simple type of trading really works for them. They'll realize that, and then eventually they'll realize how boring that gets, right? Just waiting for levels to break and all that stuff. And they'll start to deviate from that and start to add different things, like maybe a couple indicators, or, they'll watch somebody else trading and they'll try to implement that right away instead of back testing it and taking little pieces from them. And then eventually, once they realize that doesn't work and that they just need to get back to basics of what they used to do, everything starts turning around for them. Right. And that's where they start going from, a losing trader to break even, or break even to profitable. And a lot of that cycle has to do with risk management, which we just had a great psychological conversation about that before you came on, about risk management and the cycles of traders as well. But risk management is really what brings somebody from like break even to profitable, or, losing to at least break even and then profitable. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, sure. I was gonna ask you, would you have taken this the trade opportunity at 7 a.m. that break?
Right over here.
Would you have taken that?
Right over here.
Yeah.
So your mic keeps breaking up. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi. So I'm trying to figure out what you were saying. But right over here, you had a previous support, and you can, if you guys are comfortable doing this, you have this whole area right over here, previous support right in here, wicks, right? And then you had this resistance of price coming right back down into here. But then this 151 300 level ended up holding a support, right? Where we had all these rejections. It looked like we were trying to break below, but at the same time, like this whole move is so overextended, and you have a recent rejection area all in this area to the left on the higher time frames as well, where you have previous supports and resistances. So that's why I was being careful this morning of taking, before you guys came on, before taking any kind of sells over here, because I knew that like, at some point we need to retrace a little bit and continue back up to 153 possibly before we then continue down. Right, we're right in the beginning of the week. What is the weekly candle just going to continue to dump from last week? You need some kind of a retracement so that there's a top wick formed on the weekly, and then you flip bearish and then continue bearish from there on like a Wednesday or Thursday. So right over here, that's what I was looking at. I start seeing these rejections in this area, and then price starts to come back up to this resistance right over here, which will now adjust this to here. Right now, whenever you're trying to break out of a range like this, you want to wait for the candle to close above resistance. Right now, on the 15-minute, this candle just ended up skyrocketing up and closing a strong bullish candle with a clean move to the left. Just most recent move right here. You get that move right there is pretty clean. So, the question is, do I want to take this after this candle closed, right? But where's my stop loss going to be? All the way down here. So then if you put your stop loss all the way down there, because you could very well retrace right back down and retest this level and then continue up. But you put your stop loss right here, 22 pips away, you're trading in a consolidation. You need at least 22 pips right here. You need this candle to skyrocket up without retracing over here. So for me, again, being on Monday, start of the week, trading in a range over here, I'm good off like staying out of this move over here, right? I'm good off of taking this. I would rather wait, or I would have rather have, instead of this candle closing the way it did right here, we get like a close like this. Right? We get a close like this, all of a sudden we get that bottom wick rejection, the candle flips bullish, and then boom, I'm entering right here with my stop loss here, and then targeting somewhere up in this area, 28 pips. Right? That's what I would have rather get, not a big candle like this. Does that make sense? Because one of those first things that you need to do, besides checking the range and checking the other time frames real quick before entering a trade, is you just need to check where your stop loss is going to be. And if you were to take this with this candle the way it is after it closed, you have a 22 pip stop loss in a range. It's just like not valid for me, at least. All right, I'd rather just wait. Like, hopefully this ends up happening and coming right up to this resistance. Awesome. I want the candle to close above here so that we could take this move right here instead of trying to trade in here.
Makes sense.
And like just analyzing what could happen in there too. Let's say you tried to trade in here and you lose the trade. You're down by 1 or 2% in here, right? And then finally price breaks out of this resistance over here and mirrors this move to the left, and you end up winning that trade. But now you're at break even. Where as opposed if you just sat out of this and you waited for this, now you're up by 2%, 3%. So that's just the way I look at it. I'm totally okay missing this move. A rice cake. Gold still stalling out around here. Now the last 15-minute candle ended up closing this top wick over here. Very indecision. Past the low of this candle and past the high of the previous candle over here. But closed a bearish candle. Is this candle creating a top wick, flipping bearish over here to then continue down and retest this low? What time is it? 819. This could very well be a move. We finally closed below this level, and yeah, here we go. You know what? Oh man.
Boom.
We stayed on GJ too long. I was gonna take that. Oh well. So let's analyze this for a second. So you have, yeah, 820, very high volume time. But you have this level that we were analyzing even on the 1 minute over here, right? Where we had all these rejections, right? Look at all these rejections in this area. Prices just didn't want to break below here. Then we finally broke below it over here, but mainly on the 5 minute, right? This 5 minute ended up closing. We get like a little fake out right here of this move. Price closes right back into this whole range right here. Then this candle closes outside of it. The next 30-minute candle, no, 15-minute candle creates its top wick, past the low of that candle. You could very well take this thing down to retest this low right here, 40 pips. Right? So this is something good to journal. Again, this is my fault. We were on GJ too long, but I would have broken this down and we would have taken this right here. As soon as we passed the low of that candle, I would have taken this. That makes sense?
Yeah, but that was so fast though that like I don't know if I would have even felt comfortable, but it's pretty cool because like it totally filled that imbalance that was like on that left side.
Yeah, I would have definitely
there.
taken this. And I would have
Yeah.
walked you guys through taking this as well. It moved fast, and we love that. We're volume traders. We're looking for that quick push, right? At these high volume times, like 820, right? So this 1-to-1 right here, 40 pip gain would have been easy, and we would have made 40 pips in 5 seconds. Not even.
Well, aren't you worried though?
Depending what you risk, that's someone's full-time income. You know, in 5 seconds. You know, so those are those pushes you're looking for. And that's why it's so important to stick to 1 or 2 pairs, because you're not going to know how this works when you're trading 5 or 6 different pairs. You're not going to know when those volume pushes are coming or when different levels are breaking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you be worried though about like the cat's point? Wouldn't you be worried about this? Like, I feel like that moves so quickly. You almost have to get in it like just before the move happens, so you don't get killed on spreads just to catch that full 40 pips.
That's where your intuition comes in, where you have this heavy rejection, strong bearish candle, finally closing below this level that we were waiting for. But you have this candle form its top wick. We have a high volume time as well, right? Prices creating lower lows, lower highs. And then once this candle starts flipping bearish, you see the volume coming in. We saw this candle starting to flip pretty quickly. So once it starts to get around this area, you use dynamic risk. You enter one position, then we pass the low right over here. You use another position, and this dropped 40 pips where you have a nice range here. Clean moves to the left over here. So this is where the spread wouldn't even matter. Let's say the spread is 4 or 5 pips. You just grab 40 pips on that. So it's all about journaling and finding these times where price makes those pushes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen Raquel do a lot of like sell stops and all that kind of stuff recently. It feels like that would have been a
You
way.
can do that.
Yeah.
You can very well do that. Just back test them first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because price could just come down and stop you out real quick and then continue back up. It could do that with a market order too. But
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just more of a market order trader. You know, I take price when I see it, and I have my magic keys lined up, and then I execute.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we spent a little too much time on GJ with that. My bad.
I feel like now it could totally come back either to retest that 1950 area and then continue up. It just feels like it's still, although I still want to take buys. But I don't know.
This is what I was saying before. You have 2,000 up here, right? You have this candle, when we were doing our full breakdown, I was saying this candle had no top wick over here, and this candle passed the high right away and tapped into 2000 and started to reject. And I said, beginning of the week, when we do something like that, we could buyers could take profit, sellers could take over, and we can end up flipping bearish and continuing right back down to 1950. Retest the previous resistance because, if you're looking at this, we created a high right here, retested this whole area last week and the week before, held support, and we continue right back up to this area. So this whole move right here is very overextended. So what are the chances we get some kind of a pullback coming back, either back down to this wick right here or back down to 1950, this resistance right here, hold support, and then continue up with further tensions, right? So you're not trying to grab a buy up here, especially now going down the time frame. Actually, no, let's go back up to the monthly real quick and see what happened over here. Well, like I was breaking down before, this monthly candle pushed all the way up here, no top wick. This candle passed the high right away, reached all-time highs on gold, and then ended up flipping bearish. Buyers took profit, right? So the same thing happened on the weekly right over here, where we created this strong bullish candle, no top wick. This candle passed the high right away, tapped into all-time or yearly highs, 2000, and now we're starting. Buyers are taking profit and coming right back down. Right? History repeats itself. So now looking at the 4 hour, 4 hours passing the low of that previous candle, but the 4 hour is going to be closing in 30 minutes. So what are the chances we retrace a little bit, close with a bottom wick, and then on the other time frames over here, we get a retracement back up to here, and this is the move we were waiting for all along, right? We get the low created, which is great, right? We have range to take this. Price retraces back up, we get a top wick somewhere, or a traditional retest, and then we continue right back down with a clean move all the way down to 1950.
Do you see that trend line on like the 4 hour, 1 hour? Like, how do you feel about it? And I know that trend lines are subjectives and it like really just depends, but
which one? You can annotate if you like.
Okay, can you zoom out just a bit more and like move the chart there? Okay, hold on. See? Okay, something along this line.
Could have that. Let me see. Let me move this real quick. So you could have this trend line. This is why trend lines are so subjective. But that's a good point. You have that trend line. You also have this trend line right over here, where price, this is a key area now. Price could come all the way back down into here, hold support, and then continue up from here, right? Or like you have it, this trend line, we could very well react to this area, which would be great, right? React to this trend line, retrace back up to here, and then we take this thing down throughout the day, right? So I would just wait for that. Again, you also have this previous resistance up here that price is going to react to. So we missed this move, which traditionally we would have grabbed that. Now price is creating this low here. Now we just wait for some kind of a reaction to that area, and then we can take price down. If you want to wait for a close below this area, you very well can. But I think if you get a retracement over here, we could very well retrace and continue down. Because remember what happened with GJ last week. We tapped into 155. Let's go to some of the higher time frames. We had our range over here. We tapped 155 over here, right? Hard supply zone, and we just tanked from there, right? So now we're tapping into 2000. We could just very well tank right back down to a new support to continue back up. Make sense? So now what's happening on GJ is what I was just saying, where we just got a strong bullish candle formed on GJ with a wick to fill. This next candle is just forming that bottom wick to possibly continue back up from there. Gold 30-minute. 30-minute just closed on gold. So this candle has no top wick yet. We got to see what ends up happening with that candle. And it's the beginning of the candle, so could it pass the low right away, form this bottom wick, and flip bullish to continue up a little bit? This is against our rules taking this sell right now, because where's your stop loss going to be? Could very well pass the low right here, flip back, and stop you out. I'm kicking myself that we missed this. This would have been nice. So yeah, I want you guys to journal this move right over here. I'll journal it too, so that you guys can see how you could have caught this move. The way I broke it down, did that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think moves like this is where when you miss them, the emotions start to come in.
They do. They do. And you got to control them. That's your job. You know?
FOMO is a dangerous thing.
Oh, yeah. FOMO will blow your account.
Been there.
Yeah. Well, you've learned, right? And it's not something detrimental. It's something that hurts, obviously, but it's a lesson so that you never let it happen again. The key in this, the key in pro sports, the key in business is just not letting the same mistake happen twice. If you could do that, let's say you're a pro quarterback, if you could do that and you know, you throw a pick and then all of a sudden you just analyze the film, you're like, okay, I'm not going to let, you know, I'm not going to let the safety bite on that where I knew he would be there to make the pick. I'm not going to let that happen again. So the sign of like any good quarterback is just not letting the same mistake happen twice. Take that into your trading.
Yeah, I've let bad trades instead of just, you know, turn my day, like it's completely blown my account before. Bad trades turn into, you know, completely unrecoverable days where, you know, instead of just, you know, shaking it off and getting back up the next day, I've completely destroyed my accounts with FOMO before, or like revenge trading. So I've had to learn the hard way, but I won't let that happen again. That's for sure.
Good. And right now is a perfect example because we missed this move right here. Holy shit. I hate when this happens, but I'm not gonna let
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the FOMO.
Yeah, of course. You're always gonna feel the FOMO. I feel the FOMO. But this was the move to take, and this would have been our runner going. You know, I don't necessarily want to just jump in right here and just try to like grab this right here when I know I missed this trade. This is the trade I would have gotten. So, you know, does it hurt? Absolutely. But you live, you learn.
I got to bounce. So guys, I got to get the little kid out, the little fellow out. He's kind of getting anxious. So
sounds
we'll
good,
see you
buddy.
tomorrow morning though, man. I'll be on.
Looking forward to it. Yeah. You know, send me a message real quick so we can schedule that Zoom before I go.
That sounds great. Yeah, I'll do that, man.
All right.
Okay. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Miles, you there?
Yes, sir.
You weren't on before when I was giving everyone an update. It's gonna be a shorter week for me. I actually have my bachelor party this weekend, so we're going down to Miami. So
Right on.
yeah. So Thursday and Friday I won't be here. But again, I was telling everybody if you guys want to schedule Zooms before Thursday, I'm all ears. Like I have a later schedule this week with drives and everything. So you know, I'll be able to hop on Zooms and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
So this is honestly, it sucks that we missed this, but we are probably going to get that pullback before the New York Stock Exchange opens, and this move could very well continue with that stock exchange open. Or is this the pullback for the stock exchange open and we continue up from here? But I don't think so. Not with the 4 hour looking the way it does. Anybody drink celery juice?
No,
Sometimes,
sir.
yeah.
There's so many benefits. Just cleans out your whole system. I normally do celery, cucumber, apple, lemon. I think that's it. And no, ginger. Ginger's really good too.
Ginger's awesome.
Yeah. Let's get rid of some of these trend lines. But I think this is going to be a very key area for us. Right around 1950 over here.
Mhm.
I don't know why we have this. Why do we have that level there? Yeah, this whole 1950 area. Is going to be that key area where we could very well come down into, grab support. Again, still a lot of tensions in the market. Russia's not pulling back. We grab support here and continue right back up. Or could even be 1960. So this 4 hour candle is going to be closing in what, 24 minutes. So the next candle could very well create that top wick and we continue down from there. All right, so you know what? The remainder of the session, we're gonna journal this right now together, so that I make sure you guys do the same thing. All right, so we're gonna take a picture of the higher time frames. Four hour. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create this card right here. Short XU plus pip miss on 3/7/22 at what was that, around 8:20 I believe a.m. Monday, New York. Get your title in there. First picture of the daily. Sammy, have you been able to watch any of the journaling videos yet? Maybe he walked off.
No, not the journaling ones yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So the way I do this, everything is explained in the course. So you'll be able to see like what I'm doing exactly. I'll explain to you right now. So I create a new card on Trello. You have Trello, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I just short XU. I don't put the pip amount yet, but I put pip miss or pip gain, pip loss, whatever the kind of trade is. The date, the time I took it. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit more to when we got that volume push and when exactly we would have taken it, because I want to know when those volume pushes are. That's something that you write down in your trading AAR. Is like, we got a very hard volume push that we missed this trade. Like, this is what I'm going to write in my trading AAR, that we miss at 8:21, 8:22, not just 8:20, not just 8:30. It's the exact time we got it, especially these hard volume pushes. The day and then the session. You label it. This is an analyzed trade, successful runner. And then I put the first daily picture in there. Now we get the 4 hour over here. This is basically like the 4 hour after. So I'm going to put daily after 4 hour. True. We get the 1 hour over here. Now I want to see. So now we have, that would have been the trade on the 1 hour. So we would have grabbed this whole 1 hour candle. We start labeling a little bit. Our rejection of 2000. You just label your charts. That's about it for the 1 hour. Where's my thing acting up? All right. Just trying to look at it on the lower time frames. We're coming up to a support over here in the 30-minute too. So this is the 30-minute. So now you break it down. Let's see. Everyone's still here?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just getting like the zone when I'm breaking the chart down. So we got that. So we had the low created at 1982 with multiple rejections on the 1 minute, as I pointed out to you guys. And I'm also going to take a screenshot of the one at 1 minute too, so that I can look back on that. Then we had this liquidity grab. Candle closed strong bearish below 1982, which is a sign that we can now, we're probably going to continue up as long as the next candle makes some kind of a top wick and then pass below that candle, because then we have that move right back down to this area right here. Four. Now, what time was this impulse entry at? Exactly. Would have been right here. Now that would have been 8:19 that we would have taken this. So go back to the journal, 8:19.
Did you pull the 1982 level from the 1 minute?
Yeah, from the 1 minute. So, and it's also a psychological level right here where we finally created this low right here on the 1 minute earlier in the session around 7:27. We get that pullback before 7:30 closes. So we get that wick formed on the 30 minute, right? The bottom wick on the 30 minute formed right here. The next candle comes down, taps into this area, rejects again, again, and then again. So we kept rejecting this level, and then later on, we finally get that 15-minute close below that level. So the 15-minute is obviously a stronger level. Holy fuck, my dog is going crazy. Finally get that strong close below. Next candle creates the top wick, never passed the high of the previous, and then we get the volume push before 8:30. Makes
Gotcha.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
So impulse entry at 8:19 a.m. So we know, like, that's something I'm going to write in my trading AR too, is, this is when we got our hard push, very hard push on gold that we missed. Impulse entry at 8:19 as the 15-minute created top wick and flipped bearish to pass the screenshot. So that's going to be labeled 15-minute entry. So right now, as you guys can see, we're getting a nice pullback on gold. So during New York Stock Exchange Open, maybe we could take that down.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for now.
Exactly. So 45. So I probably would have secured somewhere around this area right here. On 45 pips after the retest of the low. Five secured 80% at 45 pips, which is a 1-to-1. Stop loss at break even. So we got that. Probably would have secured another at around like 100 pips. With a little piece. So secured. Now, risk management's completely up to you. You can either secure 100 pips right here or another percentage at 100 pips, or you could just move your stop loss above this wick, right? So, and then not secure at all, or secure maybe a little bit, somewhere down here. It's up to you, but that's all subjective. I can't tell you how to do that. That's like up to you. That's where you got to back test and see what makes sense for you and what your rules are going to be moving forward. So you have that, leave stop loss in its original area. So now what I want to do is just see what like the 5 minute look like over here. Right, and take a little quick screenshot of what the 5 minute looks like. And this is quick, right? And the more you do this, the more better it's going to be. And then I want to see what the 1 minute looks like and these reactions to 1982 right in here. So we can adjust this. This is our entry. Oh, back real quick. I'm going to do that. Just this. So now we know what it looks like right over here, which is what we're going to write in the description. Look at 1982. So then, later on, we're going to write how many pips we actually missed if this becomes a very good runner. And then also what you want to write in here is like the fundamentals of what's going on. Like Sunday, we ended up tapping into 2000. Buyers took profit, sellers took over, and now we're starting to reject. And this is what we were waiting for. We saw 1982 on the 1 minute getting rejected. Price came up. And now the reason why we missed this, but this is how we would have taken it. And that's what you're writing down. And each step, like every time you secure, every time you close partials, anything like that, or move stop loss to break even, is going to be a new number. Make sense? You guys all know how to journal, but I'm just explaining this for Sammy. But you'll be able to see in that video in the course. But with that being said, guys, I am going to hop off. GJ still ranging over here, but gold, I'm specifically looking for a retest over here. Where we at least come close to retesting this low over here. So let's see if we end up holding a resistance right here and price continues right back down to retest our lows. All right, clean moves to the left. This should be nice if we get it. And if I take this, I'll be calling this out in the group in New York session. Sound good? Sound good?
Sure.
Yeah.
Ever seen Glorious Bastards?
Yeah.
Please tell me you've seen that.
I have, the war movie with what's his face?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yeah.
Yeah, they're all like Jews hunting Nazis.
Yeah.
It's a what's it called? Quentin Tarantino movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, guys, good luck today. Stay smart. Do not keep getting FOMO over this. Just wait for what you want to wait for over here, right? Let's say like you guys weren't even trading during pre-New York and you're just now coming to the session. There may be a move during the New York Stock Exchange, and that's the one you guys are going to take. All right. So just stay smart. No over trading, no over risking. It's only Monday, so just stay composed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
See you later,
Sounds
bro.
good.
All right, guys. Kat, I'll see you at 11.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.